Hello, class. Um, in all the lectures, we look at the information transfer model, and we also define the role of information professional as promoting the diffusion of information and knowledge. So it's important for us to customize information to fit the need of our patron to help our information users understand and also use the information effectively. So this customization actually requires some engagement of professional skill and also diagnosis of information need. So in this lecture, we'll look at the concept of diagnosis as part of a cycle of information service. And also we'll look at some theoretical model to diagnose the information need for our users. Let's start.
We will be discussing about the concepts of users' information needs, analysis as part of the cycle of information service. And then I will be introduced one of the models dealing with human information seeking behavior in order to understand users' need. I think maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago I introduced Kurtau's model, ISP model. We'll take a look again very shortly because her model is one of the major the theory based on the HIP. And also we will be discuss about what are the implications for information professionals. The role of any professionals, for example, physician like us, librarian or teachers, or financial planner, is that of diagnosing needs and prescribing a service which meets those needs, and then implementing that service and evaluating the outcome of this interaction. So most professions, this process is required, and either for individuals or for the groups. So this process we can call as the service cycle, and this is every professional has to have this cycle diagnosis, and then you may uh, think if you visit like a physician doctor's office, so the doctor will diagnose about your the sickness, and then the prescribe based on the diagnosis, right? And then you will be treating with the medicine, and then the whole process should be evaluated, right? Uh, if if we apply to our profession, think about that one patron knock on your reference desk. So you talk with the patron, and you after hear about the what's the users need, and then you will be analyzing what the users need, and then you recommend some sources, and then the user will be using the sum of the resources or information that you gave, and then the whole process should be evaluated. So let's take a look one by one. So first step, well, there is diagnosis analysis, right? So you need to analyze the characteristics of communities served. for example, school, college, or corporation, in order to understand the environment where information center operate. So, analysis of a user's need when the user seek information by the on and on interaction. So, once this level of needs assessment is completed, the professional will process to the next stage of service cycle, right? I'm sorry. um, so, if you deal with individual users, you need to prescribe, recommend appropriate information source to satisfy the need, right? If you are helping with like entire population of or the community within the library service area, then you they create an organization customized in its design and collections and service to meet the characteristics and behavior of their population. You need to analyze your population, your community. You need to know about what's the whole community's the needs, and without the user study of the community, you cannot just recommend or prescribe uh, to their the need. Okay. So it is it should be a systematic investment. Without those study, you cannot just provide the service or recommendation. So you need to know your community. So the next step, next cycle, the treatment or implementation. This is the organization and application of the service which has been prescribed or recommended, right? So for individual users, actually the service requires knowledge of various information sources and services that are available within the system, as well as those located as well. So you must aware of the array of information sources available and what is the best use of practical information package for meeting client need. And also you need to know prepare the formats of the client if there is, and also the information needs of the client. For the community, you need to provide the information and also the steps and also facilities to the service, the meeting to the groups need. So it's a little bit different, but almost the same, right? But it's more broad. And if you are a manager of uh, the AA center, uh, it's you need to aware of the individual needs. I mean, individual the preference, but also for the communities, you need to know how to provide information and how to use your staff in order to provide the whole service to the whole communities. So after the information service has been implemented, the outcome should be evaluated, right, in terms of the patron satisfaction, right? If there is any unsatisfactory resolution of the original need, should trigger a repetition of the entire cycle, right? So I mean, you have to go back to the cycle in order to make sure what was wrong and what should be implemented. For example, if it's like reference desk, the information professional would observe and carry the um, client after presenting information to assess the appropriateness of the information provided, right? So the service should be evaluated and modified according to the findings of evaluative process, right? Um, Also, the allocation of organization resources for a specific purpose should be also evaluated after implementation. So also the methods for collecting and analyzing data for purposes of evaluation can also range from simple verbal inquiries to the um, various the method, including quantitative or qualitative analysis, depending on the circumstance. So this whole cycle provides us what is important and why we need to care about the information need, and whether applying this process of prescription or analysis, diagnosis or recommendation, treatment or implementation, and like evaluation to the individual group. A critical component is the diagnosis of the individual's need, preference, and the cognitive style of their needs. I mean, according to them. Okay. So we discussed about the cycle of the professional service, and then we talk about it is important to diagnose individuals' information need. So now, how to diagnose individuals' information need? In our field, usually it's occurs through a communication process with the individual information users. We usually call it as the reference interview, which is a process to um, diagnose library users' need, and we can identify their needs, and also what kind of source or sources can be recommended for the users need for users to meet their need. So this the interview must take into account the individual differences of the users, including cognitive style of users and also their preferences for the format. Mm. This reference interview has been the subject of numerous studies by researchers in library and information science. And we need to ask, how can the reference interview process be improved? And also, how can the information professional better address the unique information requirements of the individual users? And also, we need to ask, how can information literacy can be promoted with individuals by more effectively diagnosing information needs and using widget of that diagnosis for recommending information sources. The reference interview, as we just discussed, that into a diagnosis of information need used with a thoughtful approach which employ knowledge of human behavior in the individual's use of information. So the diagnosis may occur at various points in a user search and use of information. Um, this process should be carefully analyzed in order to better discern what clients consider the right answer to their questions or need. Um, and also this communication process include both verbal exchange and also non-verbal communication. And the reference through the reference interview, uh, the, the diagnosis, I mean, their what kind of information they need can be diagnosed in various stage of the interview process. So, the information professional may diagnose users' information need at any of the following points. The first um, point, awareness of need. Uh, your user may determine a need for information. So the need may be for like something the research purpose or just for the recreational. So there are various reasons and various needs why they need some information need. So they aware of the need. So this is like first stage in information use behavior process, and it's becoming aware of a need of information. And then action decision. After becoming aware of a need, that the user may elect to act by seeking to satisfy that need. And then strategies for search. So once a decision is made to search for information, the clients will start to uh, um, work for their unique strategies for locating information. A plan of action is formulated, usually very informally, right? It's just start. It's just start to search, and then behaviors in search. The search strategies are started by the client. So these behaviors might include maybe consulting indexes, right? And maybe talk with a librarian or asking the friend. And then evaluation. The result of search are evaluated by the user, I mean the client, to determine if the search should be modified or the search should be continued or search should be terminated, right? And then assimilation. If the result of search are deemed satisfactory, the information may be assimilated into the client information system. For example, the information may be copied, right? Copied or saved for future use, or the future the note taking, right? Input into like a Word document, something like that. And then the memory. If the information is pertinent, the client may memorize the information. Uh, so uh, the memorize mean is the information may be learned and it became a part of the individual's knowledge. And then utilization. If it is alone, the information may cause behavior changes, which maybe the client used the information. So it means the information is utilized. So, and any of stage like this, the client may consult with information professional, librarian, the information professional, in order to make sure to get the help for the information seeking. So the professional must identify the stage of information seeking as a part of a diagnostic process. So using the knowledge based on the theories, there are many theories for diagnosis, especially the reference interview. You should know which stage of the client, the users is right now, and what kind of questions information need in which stage the user is in. There have been extensive user study under the name of human information seeking behavior, and because there are so many different contexts, so this HIV studies has been done in various environments, and various contexts. This HIV is of course, this HIV can be has been studied by other discipline too, but this studied by our discipline, and other discipline like computer science, or like AI, like the intelligent agent. Some those the computer science discipline, they wanted to incorporate what we have done. So I'm kind of very proud of these studies done by our professionals. The professors in our LIS field, and also the librarians in our areas, in our field. So the human information seeking behavior is a very popular topic in our LIS, and also it is it's one area that can be it was popular to other discipline too, and it is like one of well-known studies in our field. So there are many scholars has been studied this particular topic, and human information seeking behavior. If you are interested in this topic area, these little notes might be helpful for you. Like Balkan, he's a professor in Rutgers University. He is very famous theory, ASK, the anomalous status of knowledge. What he talks about the ask is, I can tell this one statement. He found that the users don't know what he wants. Okay, I can just tell the one simple statement that what he found out. It's users when they approach to seek information, they actually don't know what they are asking, what they are looking for. So it's like anomalous status of knowledge. And then while they process their search, it can be clear from a normalized state. So and also the Durbin sense-making approach is kind of similar, but it's kind of different context. It's getting sense-making to get to know why they are seeking information. So there are and there are many different theories, models that has been that developed by our profession. Again, if you are interested in this area, there are tons of literature in our the journals. So let's so I cannot go through all of this theory and the models. So maybe if you're really interested in, just contact me, because this is my area, and I've been studying this one, and I'm still interested in studying human information seeking behavior. So if you're interested in this area, maybe we can study together. In the next slide, I believe I want to introduce the ISP model, but I think we already covered like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But let's take a look briefly. So I think we covered, right? Think about you are doing some research, and then this model provides you how to process from the beginning of your research to the evaluation of your search result. So this model presents the holistic process of how information users learn and recognize their information problems, and finally work through a process to meet their evolving information needs. This model accounts for how users engage in different information search process depending on where the person is in each stage of the process. It's also taking into consideration the circumstance involved when the user interacts with a specific retrieval system. Okay. It's again I already covered, but this model is based on a series of empirical studies using qualitative research with longitudinal design to investigate high school students and college students' information seeking process. And she talks about information seeking is a learning process in which the choices along the way are dependent on personal construct rather than on universal predictable search for everyone. So it's kind of customized by each individual's need, each individual the style. So we need to we need to respect each individual different styles of learning style. So the model holds that people search for and use information differently depending on the stage of the process. Do you remember we look at the chart, it's like 7 to 8 stage, and each different stage has a different kind of cognitive and cognitive and different the feeling of the user's emotion, like from anxiety to certain, like uncertainty to certain, and also the work, like from the initiation to the finalize of the search process. So the process are presented in 6 stage. She actually had like a initiation to the presentation, so it's included like 8, but anyway, the presented in 6 stages, describing the user's thought, feeling, and actions within each stage. the, the ISP model stage include task initiation, right? Task initiated, and then topic selected, and the pre-focus exploration, and focus formulation, and data collection and closure. And each stage, the thought, feeling, and actions are different as the person moves to the next stage, reflecting how change occurs in the information seeking process. So important thing is you need to aware of those stages, and then you need to find out where the user is in. I mean, what kind of stage the user is right now, and according to that, according to the diagnosis, you can provide a better service to better information professional service to your users. I think we covered this, so you can read this, and it's easy to understand. So, what's the implication for us to assess users' information need? There are several areas of studies can contribute to understand human information seeking behavior, um, such as learning theory, cognitive theory, and information theory, and so on. You can apply the Kurtas ISP model when you diagnose the user's need by each different step. So the Roger Greer mentioned that the community analysis is important, and uh, it, he and Hell mentioned that a systematic process of collecting, organizing, and analyzing data about the library and its environment. It is designed to assist the administrator in choosing from among alternative patterns of satisfying residents' information need and interest. Um, Actually, the Roger Greer was actually the well-known scholar, especially in assessment, especially the analyze the community's information need. So he actually made the Community Analysis Research Institute model. He actually established, built this model. So we can take a look briefly about what is the CARI model is. The CARI model has four units of analysis for communities. First is individuals and groups, agencies, and lifestyles. In individuals, this aspect of community analysis requires assessing needs and examines a community through the demographics of community, right? So maybe you can um, examine like the individual's age, characteristics, or family structure, including household and children, and also the education characteristics, including school enrollment and years of school complete, and also the economic characteristics, including employment status, and occupation or industry and income. And for the groups, um, um, the uh, the groups, I guess it's identify how the group was formed, right? Um, uh, you can from his model, he mentioned that these informal organization characteristic categorized by such as church related, school or hobby, etc. Um, because it's not individual, it's groups in your communities. So it can be formal or informal. So there are various groups you can examine, in order to diagnose, in order to analyze the group's characteristics. So again, like church related, or school, or hobbies, or like ethnic or age related, or like political, mm, or occupational. Those are y- you can approach the groups by those characteristics. And also the agencies. Mm, it's kind of formal organization categorized by government, religious, health, and education. So uh, it's more formal, and maybe you can examine those agency, then you will get to know better about the communities. And then lifestyle. This is kind of the unique or culture of the community. You may go for examine like history, the values of the community, or customs of the community, or the topography, which is the area has a specific very distinctive some characteristics in the area. So these all in order to diagnose, in order to assess what are your the community characteristics, you need to analyze by these these different steps, these different levels of analysis that you need, like individual, groups, agencies, and lifestyle. If you can do all these analyses, it's you will get really good data to analyze your community. Um, in order to gather the data from individuals, you may go to the library, right, or city planning agency, or school office, or local chamber of commerce, like a zoning board, or utility companies, like the electric, or sewer. You will get the basic, and I mean the individual data you can get. And also, in order to get data from data for groups agency, you may try to examine directories in the phone book, or currently there are many websites that provides good information about the communities. Also newspapers, right? Or it's it's very common knowledge that it's just talk to the people in your community that you can get the data, right? For the lifestyle, it's maybe you can go to libraries and talk to people, right? And also you can observe at the people, or you can study of maps, right? And also analysis of planning agency documents, etc. So after you gather the data, it must be analyzed by the types of services. Then must be used to set priority for planning new information service. Right? The reason why you getting the data is to revise, to alter your previous service, right? So the service should be assertive level of service. I mean active, right? Which meets the needs of a clientele based on the result of a systematic community analysis. So information in today's society actually requires kind of very high level of service uh, uh, for libraries and information agencies to be successful within their communities. So uh, the key success point is the ability to assess information need and then design information services to meet those needs. Uh, and also you can implement the services, and then you need to evaluate the service to fine tune it, right? So the diagnostic interview and community analysis are very essential tools that that enable information professionals to customize services as needed by information users, right? So some techniques provided in this lecture, and hopefully when you need to conduct a research, I mean like a user study, this basic approach can be helpful for you to start to gather the data. Okay. Again, diagnosing users' need and community needs are important for us in order to provide customized information. Okay. These are the references because it is long because of the human seeking information behavior theory and the model. Again, if anyone interested in this area, this reference list might be helpful for you. Okay, I think I covered all that I wanted to inform to you, and I think when you take a reference class 500, I don't know who will be teaching the classes, but I'm sure that human information seeking behavior can be covered, and also because the reference interview is the like key process to diagnosis users information need. So you will learn more about the reference interview when you take the 500 class. Okay, thanks for listening to the lecture, and let's meet next week. Okay, have a great day.